Today, I would love us to start in a more relaxing way. So if you have plenty of items around you, start to use them. You can come into that lying down position without any props whatsoever. If that was you, because you don't have enough blankets in your house, they're already on the washing line. It is like this, you just lie down, open the bent knees out, touch the soles of the feet together. However, if you do have props around, I will show you the full setup with the props. So you could choose to have 2 blocks. If you only had 2 blocks, you could lay this one flat, maybe put a cushion on it, and align your spine over the one block and rest the head on the other. If you've got 2 blocks or something like it, maybe a pile of books and a single big book, and you've got a bolster or a construction that could represent a bolster, you might place that here like so. If you then also had a cushion or a blanket, you could place that in front. Now, what I'm after here is just cushioning my bottom a little bit, so I'm not sitting all the way on the floor, and then getting quite close to my bolster, lying down, aligning the spine over the bolster, maybe, if that's possible, letting the arms fall out to the sides. And then once you're settling in a bit more, touching the soles of the feet together and allowing the knees to come out to either side as demonstrated before. Now, if the sun's shining very brightly and you're enjoying the sunshine on your face, leave it like that. If you have an eye pillow, you might add that to as another layer of comfort, as you could place that gently over your eyes. And then just pausing, taking that time to set yourself up, and then doing nothing for a moment. This space where your body is supported by however many things you might have placed underneath you. Your way of holding yourself for a moment. Taking extra time now that you're comfortable in this shape to begin acknowledging the first thing when we start to bring awareness to the feet. As the soles of the feet are touching together, rather than being separate. Allowing you to gain a sense of groundedness through the feet. Maybe even experiencing a sense of warmth, an exchange of energy between your 2 feet. Notice then the triangular shape in which your legs are positioned, whether you see that with each leg or both legs combined. The idea of a triangle is our spiritual growth, an understanding from oneness with everything. As you also begin to acknowledge potential release of tension or build-up of tension around your legs in that shape. Acknowledging an openness that might come through the pelvis. And the strong contact to the ground underneath the buttocks. Allowing yourself to explore the spine itself as it might bear a curve within, particularly the lower back. You could also explore a sense of openness across the front of the torso, and then particularly around the chest area, collarbones and shoulders. You might see the arms, as we often do, as an extension of your heart space. You could also see the arms as if there's a flow away from the heart. Things that you're holding on. As you're holding on to something, allowing that doesn't serve you from that place to flow outwards and away effortlessly. Although your body is resting still, you might choose to carefully roll the head just a few times from side to side. A gentle movement in the neck, an awakening of the upper part of the spine. When you feel that movement is enough, you can bring your head back into center. If you feel the legs out to the sides are getting too much, you could slide the feet a little bit further away from your body, or even bring your feet down onto the ground, whichever serves you best. Noticing finally what is actually going on in your head, and begin from potential tension in the head to thoughts that might be cruising through the mind. My intention is to allow you to feel grounded to the earth, as well as opening your heart space today. With this shape that you're in, you're already inviting space. And whatever brought you to the mat today and whatever is going on in your mind, acknowledge that we're not always perfect, and that we can likely find some darker corners somewhere within us where things aren't flowing so smoothly. There was a card that came up for our practice. And it says, whatever is exposed to the light itself becomes light. So as we begin to open, we're allowing the light to shine in. It says on the back, invoke divine light to shine within you and reach into your shadow areas. Allow the healing power of this light to dissolve all that wounds your spirit and so restore your health. As you keep the shape just for a little bit longer, let us deepen the breath. Let us deepen our breath to bring more space into the front of the body. As you are breathing in from your belly to your ribs up to the collarbones. And even breathing out reverse as the collarbones fall, the ribs, and then finally the belly. If that doesn't work for you, you prefer the usual way, please go ahead. Otherwise, this morning, breathe in from belly, ribs to the collarbones, and let the collarbones come down first, then the ribs, and then the belly. As you allow your breath to flow like this, you might want to pay particular attention to the element of grounding as well as opening. And while the opening happens automatically when the in-breath comes, allow a little bit of inner strength at the end of your out-breath, where you're just tucking the lower belly gently in and down. In-breath expands you. On the out-breath, at the very end, if you're breathing the reversed way, have that little tuck of inner strength. While I invite you to have another 3 breaths just like that. And when you have completed those 3 breaths, I will ask you to let your hands rest somewhere onto the lower abdomen, towards your pelvis. To breathe in fully and to let the sound alarm escape on the out breath. Alarm. We'll do that twice more, breathing in. Lam. Lam. Let your arms then open for a moment. And you can choose now to keep the arms open if what you need is more space, more light into the heart area. But you could also choose a more nurturing approach and touch your hands to the heart. The sound is yum. We'll have 3 rounds. So breathe in. Yum. 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 When you completed the sound, you might even keep your hands on the heart space and lift your knees up if you haven't done so quite yet. Wiggling the feet out to the edges of the mat and letting the knees for a moment drop in, as if we could curl ourselves back into our shell. Then release your hands down. Tuck the chin in, press the hands into the floor and lift yourself up to sit. Removing bits and pieces that you might have used to prop yourself up. You don't have to bring these things too far away. You might want to have one or the other thing again. We will then just simply lie down on the side of the body, extending the legs out long. If you want to keep a cushion, you could place that underneath the head. And we will allow ourselves a big, long stretch. Holding your body in the long stretch, starting to push the hips forward, creating like a half moon shape. And then while you keep the extension in the body, allow yourself to soften. You could use, if you're not lying on a cushion, the lower hand to rest your head upon. And I'm inviting you now to bend the top knee. So I haven't specified which side to lie on. Depending on which one you are, you might be able to catch the foot behind you. If that is possible, you can choose to hold onto the outer edge of the foot or the inner edge. And just feeling how does that expose the heart space, open your shoulder. So whichever way feels best for you, and please do try both. Holding onto the foot, the knees are still together. If it then feels right, start to bring the foot back into the hand. That might bring the knee a little bit backwards. As we hold for 2, 1, and then releasing. Rolling right down onto your back now. Stepping the feet down onto the ground and placing them quite comfortably but close towards the buttocks at hip distance. The arms by the sides, the body in a good imbalance. As we inhale to tilt the pelvis, squeeze the buttocks and lift the hips up for a bridge. And then breathing out to roll the spine back down. While we're inhaling, tilt and squeeze and start to lift up. On the out breath, rolling back down onto the back. Do that just once more. Tilt, squeeze, and lift as you're breathing in. And breathing out to roll back down onto the back. Then take yourself across onto the other side. Again, you can place a cushion underneath the head or use your lower hand. Extending your legs out. And with the next breath in, extending the arms up as well. Find a long, deep stretch. And begin to push the hips forward. Creating that half moon shape again, lying on the floor. And then soften that, but keeping the extension of the body. And if you're not on a cushion, you might bend the lower arm again to make that your cushion. Before you begin to bend the upper knee. If it's possible, with your upper hand, reach either for the outside edge of the foot or for the inner edge, and acknowledge how that might feel different on this side. Playing around with the two and making a choice which one is yours. Before starting to bring the foot back into the hand, which might result in the knee moving backwards. Pause here. As you release the foot, rolling again onto your back, stepping your feet back up towards your buttocks. Again, keep them at hip distance. Let your arms lower down by your sides. And we'll go once more into the bridge as we tilt the pelvis, squeeze the buttocks and lifting the hips up. And now if you can, please hold. There's an option there to turn the palms upwards, walk your shoulders a bit under and lift your chest more. Some of you might even find you can interlace your hands behind your back and lengthen the arms down onto the floor. And then hold here for a few more breaths. From there, let's release as you roll down onto your back gently. Once you are on your back, bring both knees up to the chest and give them both a good squeeze in. We will add a light element of strength. If it doesn't serve you well, please find a variation that does, or take a pause with your knees hugged in. We'll change our grip to just the right knee, and we're extending out through the left leg. While we're exhaling, you can lift your nose up to the knee and lower the left leg down to just above the ground. And then come back as you extend the sole of the foot to the ceiling. On the exhale, maybe the upper body is lifting as we lower the leg. On the in-breath, lying back down, the leg extends towards the ceiling. Exhale, lower, maybe lift. Inhale, leg lifts, upper body's lying down. Just two more. This time, lower the leg all the way down and the upper body down. We'll do the obvious. The opposite hand comes to the knee, right arm folds out, and we're guiding the knee across the body. Now careful with this twist. Try not to push the knee downwards. Just use the hand for a gentle guidance. If your neck is happy with that, extend your gaze over towards the long arm. Inviting you then to bend both knees while maintaining this twist, which might result in open arms. Then placing both hands onto the side of the waist. And while we're breathing in through the nose, the head might center. And with the breath from the mouth, starting to lift and trying to look over the hip. So you inhale, lie back. Exhale, lift it again. Repeat for 3 more. And as you then lie back again, open the arms on the in-breath. Using a strength on the out-breath, bring your knees back up. Let your feet step apart, realigning your back. We'll bring the arms back down by the sides, the feet again close towards the buttocks. And as you inhale, tilt the pelvis. And now on the exhale, squeeze the buttocks and push the hips up here to hold. There's the same option of opening the palms and just drawing the shoulders under, or even interlacing the hands once more. But you could also place your hands onto your hips and keep the hips up that way. Your choice. Stay in your bridge while you breathe in and out twice more. Waiting then for another exhalation before you release your bridge and roll back down, vertebra at a time, until you touch the floor again. Once you've landed, bring both knees back into the chest, give them another hug and squeeze. And you could then rock the body from side to side. As we change all of that to the other side, only holding on to the left knee towards the chest while extending the right leg up so the sole of the foot is facing the ceiling. And as you're breathing out, begin to lower the leg while you're tucking your nose up to the knee. On the inhale, lift the leg and put the head back onto the ground. On the exhale, lower the leg, nose towards the knee. Inhale, lie back, extend leg to ceiling. 3 more. And with the last one, lower the leg all the way down, releasing the upper body completely. Take the opposite hand to the knee, let the left arm fall to the side, and then guide the knee across the body. If your neck is happy, turn the head in the opposite direction. Same here, we don't want to pull on the knee, we just want to use the hand, the arm as a gentle encouragement. Before we're sliding the other knee into a bend as well, and the arms can open out towards the side. Placing the hands then onto the side of the waist while inhaling through the nose. Exhaling from the mouth, sitting yourself up. On the inhale, lie back. Breath out. 3 more. 2. And 1. As you relax the body down, roll it all the way over onto your right side. So you push the hand into the floor to allow yourself to come into a seated position, where we might want to come into an easy pose. If the easy pose doesn't work for you, if you want a cushion or a block to sit on, getting yourself right there. Aware of the leg that you did place in front. Let us take a breath in to open the arms. Draw on the thumbs as you squeeze your shoulder blades and maybe lifting your gaze. And as you're breathing out, bring the hands forward and place them back onto the very lower abdomen. You can close the eyes here as we repeat the sound of Lam 3 times. Let's inhale fully. Lam. 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 With the next inhalation, let your arms open in that same mat again. Draw on your thumbs, squeeze your shoulder blades, lift your heart. And then start to turn towards the front leg. If you can easily reach, place the back of the hand against it. The other hand, fingertips behind as we come into a twist. Turning the hand at the front to hold onto the leg or to point towards the ground. And take an in-breath to lift the hand up from behind you. As we're exhaling, bending over sideways. To release that, let the upper arm and shoulder roll down. Release your hand and change the leg you had in front. So we're getting a little bit uncomfortable now. Let's breathe in and open the arms again. Let the thumbs lead into that opening of the chest as we squeeze our shoulder blades together. Open up through the heart. And as you're breathing out, let your hands touch towards the heart. Keeping the head upright, you might close the eyes. 3 times yum. Let's start with an in-breath. Yum. 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 As you breathe in, open the arms again. Again, let your thumbs lead you, the shoulder blades squeezing, the heart lifting. And as you're breathing out, turn again towards the front leg, which will be the opposite. As you might place the back of your hand against the leg or just the fingertips in front, up to you. Go into your twist. Fingertips of the other hand might rest behind. As you start to turn the hand on to face the floor or to hold onto your leg. And you will take the back arm and extend that right up to the ceiling as you breathe in. And then again, fold over to the side as you're breathing out. You can keep your arm extended over the head. And then let's roll that in and forward. So we come back to remove the block or whatever you've been sitting on and finding your way all the way into standing. Lifting through the shoulders and draw them back as we come to stand at the front end of our mat. So we're nice and tall here, grounding the feet down for a mountain shape. We keep opening, but now our foundation becomes more important. And I do recommend to practice barefoot while we're standing to get that feedback from the ground. So while you're taking your next inhale, do the same that we did seated. Draw on your thumbs, open your heart, a laid back bend. And as you're breathing out, just stepping your right foot back and bring your hands down onto your hips. Grounding the back foot to the floor as we inhale to straighten the front leg. And you can keep your hands here on your hips, but draw your elbows back as you open the heart and lean with the heart leading towards your front leg. Maybe your nose then moves in the direction of the knee. Start to ground down actively through the front foot as we lower the nose. Keeping yourself low as you bend your front knee, lengthen the spine, hands still on the pelvis. Then place the hands down onto the mat and step your foot back into a downward facing dog. Taking an in-breath as we roll forward into a plank or kneeling plank. Breathing out to lower down towards the mat. We'll keep that flow simple as you inhale. Lift your heart for a cobra. Breathe out to release the shape. Breathe in, come to all fours. Tuck your toes under. Maybe knees come off the ground for a downward dog. Walking the feet then to the top end of the mat. And inhale there for a half lift. A breath out to a forward bend. Push down into your feet as you're rising up, maybe lifting both arms up. And as you breathe out, let the arms open back out and by your side as we're arriving again in the mountain shape. Feeling again to your feet, rising up through the crown of the head. We'll do that again. As you inhale, pull back with your thumbs, squeeze your shoulder blades, open your heart. And when you're breathing out, place your hands onto your hips and step the left foot back, grounding the whole foot down. So pelvis is facing forward. We're starting to squeeze back the elbows on the inhale. And on the exhale, starting to lean over your front leg. Heart is leading into the shape, but then you might lower your nose down towards the knee. Grounding deeply into the ball of the front foot as if you wanted to push off that. And let your elbows allow you to get deeper. Let's bring a bend into the front knee, lift up through the spine, keep hands where they are if possible. And then take the hands down to the mat as you retreat again into a downward facing dog. On your in-breath, roll forward, find plank or kneeling plank. On the out-breath, lower down slowly. Let us take a breath in for another cobra. Exhaling to release. Inhaling to push off the mat. And exhaling to retreat to down dog or fours is always an option, as you might know. And then walking the feet again towards the front end of the mat. Take a half lift when you're arriving. Fold when exhaling. And push into the ground as we're lifting up again. Arms might rise up to the ceiling. And with the out breath, releasing the arms then back down by your sides. Pause for a moment, let the energy drop back down into your support, your foundation, sensation of groundedness. And if you do have a wall nearby, do use a wall for the next downward facing dog. I will show you, hopefully sideways, how this will work. So we're placing the hands onto the wall, spread the fingers out as if we were in a downward dog, and just walk your feet backwards. So the feet or the ankles are resting straight underneath the hips. The arms are about shoulder distance so that these joints are aligned as well. I would love you to keep grounding through the feet and using actively your hands as if you are standing on them, down the dog against the wall. If you just had to walk away from the screen just to find a wall space, that's okay too. So let your shoulders be open and actively lift through the space between the shoulder blades now. While you might hold this as a downward facing dog, you could also begin and lift the right leg. See if there is little motion in the rest of the body and keep pushing out through the right leg. If you would like to take this further, you could bend your right knee. You could still use your left hand on the wall and maybe catch the right foot. If you do so, start to lift your gaze while you're bringing your foot into your hand. A dancer against the wall. Let us release the foot, the hand, and then the upper body again. Find your downward facing dog shape, and if done in a supportive way, use the lower abdomen to hold you while you're creating that space again between your shoulder blades. If you want to do the same on the other side, let the left leg lift now. The heel is leading us back. There's stability in the upper body and also in the leg on the ground. If you want to take it further, bend the left knee. Keep right hand against your wall. Or you might catch the foot and guide the foot into the hand as you begin to lift your gaze. You can actively use the hand on the wall to help you expand into the front body. And as you release it this time, landing both feet on the ground and softening the whole body down into a forward fold. Your knees can be soft here, let the upper body just hang down. And if that feels nice, you can start to sway, brush the fingertips along the floor. And from there, curling gently back up into standing. Lift your shoulders, roll them back and down, and return once more towards the front end of your mat. With your next inhale, lead again with your thumbs as you open the heart and the gaze. While you're breathing out, touch the palms together in front of the chest and step your foot back. Front knee is in a bend this time, warrior one. And we'll repeat the heart opening within the warrior one. As you take a breath in, squeeze your shoulder blades, open your heart. And as you're breathing out, then straighten the front leg. Let your hands slide down the leg, maybe even towards the floor as we deepen the forward fold. Potentially the hands now used as a helper for balance. While we inhale, bending the front knee again, lifting through the spine. You can either choose to just step forward, or you can lift your back leg and fly the arms out for another warrior three, this time without the wall. And we will bend the back knee in, lifting it up and starting to lift through the heart, leading again the thumbs backwards, a modification of the dancer. Then step your foot to the ground, release the arms again. You could even close the eyes briefly as we inhale fully. Let a long, soft sigh ground you again. Then open the eyes once more. And while you take your next inhale, pull back with the thumbs, squeeze the shoulder blades, open your heart. The left foot that steps back while your hands come to touch in front of the heart. We're allowing our front knee to be bent, warrior one. And with the next inhale, hold your warrior one stance. But open the heart again as you pull on your thumbs backwards, squeeze the shoulder blades, open the heart. And while you straighten the front leg, let's fold forward again. Hands sliding down the leg, maybe all the way to the floor as you lower your nose towards the knee. And do feel free to use measures of support. With your next inhale, bend your front knee. You can fly the arms out. You could also just choose to step forward, or lifting the leg behind for an aeroplane is the other option. While you might draw back on your thumbs, start to bend the back knee, open your heart, that modified dancer shape. Then land the foot. Release back into mountain, close the eyes or steady your gaze. Deep, a full in-breath. Long, slow out-breath. Let's inhale again. On the exhale, soften the knees and roll back down towards a forward fold. finding your way to the mat. If it's possible, you can sit on the heels like so, that's fine. You could even have the option of both legs extended. What I'm after is keeping the right knee in a bend and extending the left leg forward. Now I am able to bring my foot out from underneath and place it to the side of the hip. If this is too strong for you, no reason required, could be much too strong. You could instead open the knee out in a head to knee shape, otherwise keeping the leg close by. What we'll have in common is a flexion through the left ankle as we lengthen through the spine, inhale, and then folding forward on the exhale. And allow yourself to just lean a little bit in. Acknowledge if you're in the shape that I am in, that the forward fold might be a little bit limited. Leave your shoulders relaxed, ground your hands towards the floor, and lean your nose towards the knee, whatever shape you're in right now. Allowing 2 more breaths, long exhalations. When you completed those breaths, lift yourself back to sit. You might hop back up onto your heel, have either both knees bend, so we've got the same starting position, but no need to do so if you're sitting flat on the floor with the knee outwards. We'll just simply change sides. As we bring the right leg forward, you might place the left foot by the side of the hip. Same option though, you notice it's not for you. Open the knee out to the side instead. Pointing toes up to the ceiling, fingertips on the ground. Let's take a deep breath in. And then as you're breathing out, move your body forward. Allowing the nose to move towards the knee, acknowledging anything that comes up. As we thought about our darker aspects of being, you might choose to just bring some ease in and be that the longer inhalation together with a long, slow out breath. One more breath in this shape. Before we lift ourselves back up, extending both legs out towards the front. With both legs long, take an inhale again to sit up straight. Reach just gently forward as you're breathing out. Find a half lift as you're inhaling to lengthen your spine. And then roll your back down onto the mat. We will once more step our feet down onto the ground. If you like an elevation underneath the hips, you might bring your block or cushion back in, and as you lift your hips up, place that underneath the sacrum. This is just for further extension over your front and to ground the hips down, so not essential. We're bringing the right knee into the chest as we've done before, and then if that feels good, let your left leg extend out. A simple hold here while you squeeze your right knee to the chest. Then step your left foot back onto the ground. Let the right foot land as you open your arms. Take a breath in. And when you're breathing out, hug your left knee into the chest. And if that's okay for your back, let the right leg slide out long, holding. Now, stepping the right foot back down, extending the left leg up, and then the right. If you don't have anything underneath your buttocks right now, maybe you put your fists underneath. Open the arms out, shuffle your shoulders under gently, exposing the heart space and exposing the soles of the feet towards the ceiling. You can keep your drishti at your toes, that's your gaze point, or you can close the eyes, allowing a moment of inversion. After you inhale next, we'll chant Lam and Yam. So let's breathe in. Lam, Yam. Let that sink in. Then bend your knees and land your feet down. You can do both at the same time or one after the other. If you've got something underneath you, lower the arms down, squeeze the buttocks so you can lift your hips back to a bridge, only to remove your support, and then rolling down onto your back. For a moment, just checking in. Let the arms open up. If you need that little wiggle across the pelvis, you could have that. Maybe you don't, and you prefer to extend your legs straight away for relaxation or shavasana. Closing the eyes gently, allowing yourself to become restful. If you didn't bring your blanket or warm clothing and that's needed, of course, take the time to put that on. We will allow ourselves to pause the body to find the ground again underneath. We will also keep a light opening through the chest. And while you are in stillness now, let your awareness, your inner gaze, move up towards the third eye. With your mind's eye, imagine a deep red ball of light. Draw it down to the base of your body. Visualize the ball opening up into a beautiful red lotus flower. With each inhalation, visualize the petals of the lotus flower unfolding. And with your soft exhalation, visualize the petal folding close again. The red lotus flower opening with the inhale, closing with the exhale. Right at your base. While you continue to do so, in your mind, chant 3 times the sound Lam on the out breath. After you've completed, let go of sound, lotus flower, and color. And let your inner gaze point wander back up to the third eye. In your mind's eye, imagine a light green ball of light and draw it down into the heart space. Visualize the ball opening into a beautiful green lotus flower. With each inhale, visualize the petals of the lotus unfolding. With each exhale, closing again. Do so for a few more breaths. Green lotus flower in the heart space opening on the inhale and closing again on the exhale. While you keep that happening together with your breath, in your mind, 3 times the sound Yam on the out breath. When you complete it, let go. Draw your awareness away from the flower, sound, color, and back into your whole body lying there on the ground. Whatever is exposed to the light itself becomes light. Start to move your body gently. And after a while of movement, finding your way into a seated shape. As you arrive, take a deep breath and pull back on your thumbs, squeeze the shoulder blades again, open your heart. And as you're breathing out, bring all of that together with the palms touching, the thumbs maybe lightly to the sternum, and a gentle bow of the head. As we extend our light to each other, Namaste.